Warning. The following podcast contains adult themes, including, but not limited to, adult language, adult dragon animorphs, problematic encounters with potential love interests, steampunk vampires, potentially unhealthy relationships, goblin kings, and hosts that read way too far into silly romance novels. The opinions expressed in this podcast are entirely those of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. Special Christmas edition of Textual Tension, where we have a love-hate relationship with romance novels. I'm your co-host, Rachel.
And I am your co-host, Margie.
And
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! This is Christmas Day. This is being released. If you don't celebrate Christmas, we love you too, and...
Happy holidays!
Yeah, listen to this on whatever holiday you choose.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So normally, every other week, we read a romance novel, and one of us tells our unsuspecting co-host what the fuck just happened.
If anything.
This week is a little bit special because I, your co-host Rachel, read a Christmas-themed romance novel.
Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm wearing a jingly hat.
Yes. So... Margie's wearing a jingle hat. We are both drinking some mulled wine to get into the spirit. It's great.
The ghost of Christmas past, present, and future.
Right. So... we're gonna be drunk on stream, and it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Cool.
Whatever. Please drink responsibly.
Mm-hmm. We're both over 21.
Yes.
It's cool. So,
way
Margie.
over 21.
Yeah, well. Shh. A woman never tells her age. Because that would devalue her as a person if she was beyond childbearing age. Let me put a damper on my scathing feminism for a hot second. All right, so.
Happy holidays, guys.
Happy holidays. Happy feminist holidays. Oh my god. Guys, okay. So, I read a Christmas-themed book.
Woo!
And, oh boy. Just wait. It's
Holy
great.
Chrismahanakwanzika.
Holy Chrismahanakwanzika. And Yule. So, I'm going to be telling Margie about this wonderful book. I have a physical book for Margie to see the cover of. And I'm afraid the cover's not that interesting. But I'm going to give this to you, and then we'll do our disclaimers after you read the back of it.
Okay, so she's right. It's not that interesting. Oh my god.
Huh?
Okay, so the book is titled The Trouble with Christmas. And it's just basically like a red door with covered in white snow with a wreath on the front. And there is this really weird part of the wreath that looks like it almost has a skull.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
That little guy at the top, it almost looks like two eyes from a skull. That's what it made me think of.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I think it's supposed to be ornaments, but it's creepy as hell.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
does look. That was my first impression of it. So, but my favorite thing about the front of this novel is that it says "Great New Series!" ! Great low price.
I mean, setting the bar high.
See. It's $6.
For what it's worth, I got it at the library. I didn't pay that much. Because I have yet to support someone with these books yet.
Well, yeah, but it's just kind of like $6 for a romance novel, though. I wouldn't pay more than $5. Like, if I were at UDF and really desperate.
Depends on the romance novel.
Maybe.
I will say.
Okay.
There are some that actually were good that I purchased. So
okay.
I lied.
Well, like Outlander, people will pay a lot of money for those.
There are some that I did purchase, but I've never started a series by purchasing it. I got it from the library every time. So, I did not pay $6 for that book, basically.
Okay, so that's the cover. She's right, it's not a very interesting cover. It says, Christmas, Colorado will get you in the spirit for love all year long. Mm-hmm. Okay, Jill. All right, that's Jill Shalvis, a New York Times best-selling author. Which, if there's anything I've learned from this podcast, being a New York Times best-selling author is
means
a pretty
nothing.
Low bar.
Means nothing.
All right, here we go. Unfortunately, the Dayton Library thing covers up what this says on the top a little bit.
Oh, do I need to pull it up?
No, it's okay, because I can still read the description. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Resort developer Madison Lane is about to lose the one thing she loves most in the world, her job. Dubbed the Grinch Who Killed Christmas, Madison spoiled a deal that would turn quaint Christmas Colorado into a tourist winter wonderland. Now the citizens want her fired, but the company gives her one last chance, sending Madison to the small town to restore the holiday cheer. For Sheriff Gage McBride, no hotshot executive for New York City is going to destroy the dreams of the people he loves. But one look at this beautiful woman, and it's his heart that may be broken. In just a few days, Madison causes more trouble than he's had to deal with all year. He can't decide if she's naughty or nice, but one thing is for certain. Christmas will never be the same again. You know what this sounds like?
Yeah.
A Hallmark movie.
Oh, that's
just it.
Just wait.
So, and it says on the bottom, come celebrate a Christmas you won't forget.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just...
It's not great, right?
No, it kind of just sounds like a meh. I think that in my romance novels, if I'm going to say, like, I like a little danger, a little suspense.
So here's my thoughts on it, briefly. Sort of in the beginning. To be fair, the Dayton Library did not have that many Christmas-themed romance novels.
Okay, fair.
They did not.
Fair.
Actually, after... This is great. You're going to love this. After I found this one, I was telling a guy at work that whose girlfriend listens to the podcast and loves it, that I was doing a Christmas one. And he's like, I almost bought you a romance novel because they went to the bookstore and they had a display specially for Christmas-themed romance novels. And he found one that was like a Texan for Christmas. And I'm like, God damn it! That would have been so much better!
Well, did you see on the Instagram that I posted like six? Yeah, there are like 6. I was at Joseph Beth Booksellers, and they had like a section that was just Christmas themed romance novels, and they were like, if you go to our Instagram at Textual Tension Pod, you'll see that picture.
Great. Oh my god.
You can tell us if you've read any of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here's the book back.
So, real quickly, we like to go over any trigger warnings that we might have.
Yes.
There is some alcoholism a little bit. These are all just in passing reference. So there's a little bit of passing reference to alcoholism, passing reference to abuse. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Okay. All right.
This is, well, you don't know how right you are with the hallmarkness of this book. So,
I mean, come on.
Right,
look at the front cover. It looks like...
Okay. So this is the part that I have been the most excited about this entire, like, past couple weeks that we've been planning this. Because this book inspired me. So we're actually going to start off with a little bit of...
I'm so afraid.
A little bit of another type of summary of the book.
Okay.
That I wrote.
Okay.
We're going to need to set the mood a little bit. Perfect. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
'Twas December in Christmas, a small mountain town, in need of a miracle. Shit's about to go down. We follow Miss Maddie, a New York bookkeeper. Content with her life, no need to look deeper. When Maddie meets Gage, a career sheriff hunk, things start to get steamy. I mean, who'd have thunk? Miss Maddie hates Christmas, the town, and the season, and this Hallmark-ass plot will show us the reason. A catfight, a pageant, a slandering plot. Throw in kidnapping, because why the fuck not? So strap in, my friends, and grab some eggnog. It's the warm, fuzzy season, and we're going whole hog.
Well, instead of applause, because you totally deserve applause, this is what I'm going to give you.
So, a poet I am not, but
I'm
really proud of that.
You are. That was incredible. How long did that take you to write?
I don't want to say.
Okay. I am still so impressed. I am so impressed. I was like, I thought I was clever with my whole choose your own adventure shit. No, this bitch brings in a fucking poem.
So, I was going to do the entirety of my notes that way. But
that would have taken so long.
It would have taken a long time, and we wouldn't have had as good of a chance to like talk about it. Right. So I figured we'd open with a nice get in the mood.
I saw that as your notes. I saw that, and I was like, what is she doing?
I flexed my poetry muscles.
I'm gonna need a picture of that for the Instagram.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Check us out. Check it out, guys and girls.
Yeah. So I ran that by multiple people to make sure. The meter is very difficult. I read books. I don't do poetry, so...
I am so impressed.
You should be proud of me.
So proud of you.
It inspired me.
That was amazing.
So let's get into this beautiful, beautiful novel. This beautiful, heartfelt something. So, as repeat listeners will know, I tend to like to start off with a description of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a really hard time finding a description of the characters in this one. So I know that Maddie has blonde hair.
Okay.
And a really rockin' body, but she dresses usually a little bit, I don't want to say frumpy, but not to flatter her body.
Okay, yeah.
For the most part. And Gage, I know he's muscly. That's about it. He's a career sheriff hunk.
Did you ever watch Once Upon a Time?
Yes.
I'm thinking of the sheriff from that show. That's what I'm going to imagine.
That's
and also,
pretty much what I think
I'm
of.
okay with that.
Right. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Mm-hmm.
I'd rather see that actor in that role than in his future role.
Heyo?
No, 50 Shades of Grey.
He's Christian?
Yes.
I'm upset.
Yes. Also,
Prince Charming is... Ooh, what happened to Prince Charming?
Not Prince Charming, the sheriff.
Oh, the chick?
Sheriff. No. In the first season.
Who's the sheriff in the first season?
Like, dude. There's a dude who's a sheriff in the first season, and the evil queen pulls out his heart.
Oh,
that guy.
I remember that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Because like the chick, I'd be down for that.
Well, also the Mad Hatter in that show is the Winter Soldier.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Captain
you're right.
America. Yeah,
it's a great show. The first couple seasons.
The first season was fabulous. Yeah. Everything after that goes downhill. Anyway,
okay, so let's get into it. Repeat listeners will know I like to break things into scenes. So scene 1, Madison Lane is her name. Is a finance person, accountant. Is that the right word? I said
finance. What?
Finance person, accountant.
Bookkeeper.
Yeah, I said bookkeeper.
Like that. Yeah. Okay.
For a company.
That is neither of our professions.
Nope. For a company in New York that builds and manages vacation resorts.
Okay.
So the president's name is Joe. The president's son, Harrison, is basically out for her job. Like he's not a finance guy. I don't know why. Whatever. And he's pushing for a resort in a small town called Christmas, Colorado, which does not actually exist. I looked it up.
There is a town. I know there's a town called Christmas somewhere.
Yeah, but it's not in Colorado.
It's not in Colorado.
So he's pushing for this resort in Christmas. It's gonna be like a ski resort, is basically what I gathered from it. Mm-hmm. And Maddie, who is like Joe, is like she's friends with Joe. She considers herself friends with Joe. She did the numbers, and it turns out that she's like the resort will be closed in a year. Like, it'll go bankrupt in a year because there's not even a direct road from the highway to this town. Like, it's not a good place for a resort.
Okay, that is bad planning.
It's very bad planning. And so she did the numbers.
Let's
like,
build a resort no one can get to. What is this, The Shining?
What's the point? Well, that probably would have been more interesting. She does the numbers and tells Joe, she's like, look, this is gonna like ruin your company. You're gonna sink so much money into it. It's not gonna work out. Like, the numbers don't lie. Mm-hmm. And so this is where I need your marketing expertise. Okay. Because this is the entire crux of the plot. And to me, it is buck wild.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
So
you gonna come up?
This is in New York.
No? Okay.
We are joined today by our little elf helper, Bitsy. Hi, Bitsy. The kitty cat. Yeah, that's you. Good job. You have a face for radio, Bitsy. Anyway. So, the quote-unquote media gets wind of this.
Okay.
And how she was the one that said no to it because numbers. Right. And they run a story titled The Grinch That Killed Christmas with a picture of her. Okay. All over, we're talking like CNN, like Fox, all the big ones, I guess.
Okay. When did this book come out?
I don't know.
To start with. All right, go on.
There are literally protesters outside of their building protesting her. So Joe, the president of this company, is like, okay, well, this is not good. This is very bad. We're getting very bad publicity. You need to fix this. And by fix it, I mean, I'm going to send you an accountant or bank bookkeeper, whatever, who has no marketing experience to this town in the middle of Colorado to convince the townspeople that this resort is not a good idea for them. Go do it.
Okay, so let me make sure
to save face.
Let me make sure that I have this right.
Okay.
So this woman made a logical decision to say, this will not work.
Yes.
This ski resort will not work.
Yes.
You will sink a bunch of money into something that will not work.
Yes.
The media got wind of this.
Yes.
And I will say this, the media's response isn't bad. It's, they're trying to make a story, and in a way they're not wrong that, like, she said no. Mm-hmm. That this wouldn't work. It sounds like they kind of went in one direction with it, which is wrong. They shouldn't have villainized her for it, because that's not what journalism is meant to do. Uh-huh. But, that's how journalism is working today, unfortunately.
Right.
On both sides. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they did that, and then the president turns around and says, let's stick that person who everybody hates into the town to convince people that this is a good idea. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a solid you don't want to do that.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, okay, so,
to be fair, I'm not a marketing person. I don't even run our social media, guys, because I don't do social media that much.
Right.
So, I wanted to bring in Margie as my expert for today, one of several.
So
You're welcome.
Yeah, I am a...
In my notes, I have in all caps, is this a thing?
Guys, I do have a Master of Arts in Media and Communications. So I do, and I did my dissertation on dark media. Mm-hmm. So I know the dark side of the media. This is what you don't want to...
Oh my god, there's a cat in your lap. That never happens, ladies and gentlemen.
That never happens. Bitsy never comes into my lap.
No,
this is a Christmas...
Bitsy hates people that aren't me.
This is a Christmas miracle.
Oh my god. Hallmark did it.
Oh my god. And she's letting me pet her. Okay.
This is going to be a long episode. I'm just prefacing this now, but it's a Christmas special, so I don't care.
And also, she's hitting it. She's hitting the mic.
She needs her voice to be heard.
I'm so happy. I want to cry.
Oh, Bitsy.
Oh my god. Okay.
Guys, most of my friends don't believe I own a second cat because she's never seen.
She never even comes out for me. She only comes out in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping here.
Yup.
I still love you. Anyway, so what I'm gonna make a bad example of what you would actually do here.
Please.
Which is, so everybody remembers Harambe, which I remember Harambe especially because it was in Cincinnati. That's my hometown. It's where, unfortunately, the gorilla... There was a tragic incident, but the response at the Cincinnati Zoo was a very good response to Harambe, which is deflecting. So there was so much media response to what happened with Harambe that the next big thing that was going to happen at the Cincinnati Zoo was the hippo Fiona.
Right.
The baby hippo Fiona, whom everybody knows and loves now. And if you don't know and love her, look her up because she is all over social media.
Bitsy. I know, you're fine.
So, they deflected. Mm-hmm. So they took they sort of buried the bad story under the good stuff. So
sure.
It's kind of like...
That tends to be what happens.
It's like fertilizer, unfortunately. They knew they were getting a lot of media attention already. So they just used that as fertilizer for Fiona. I guess I shouldn't that's a bad analogy, but I'm sorry.
It makes sense.
It was a very sad incident. Yeah. So, but that's like a good immediate example of what you would do. Now that if in the example of this book, you would not like that.
Put the one person in like media's way.
You would not put Harambe into Christmas. Like that's what they did.
It was not great.
No. So
okay, so it's not a thing. I'm not crazy.
Yes, you are not crazy.
Okay, awesome. So Maddie is sent to Christmas, and at this point, I will say Maddie hates Christmas, the town and the season, because she hates small towns. We'll get into why later, and she just doesn't like Christmas. We'll get into why later.
Okay.
So she makes a grand entrance into Christmas. She gets a rental car. She's driving to Christmas, and remember, no direct route from the highway to Christmas. So she, a New Yorker who doesn't drive much anyway, and is all of a sudden driving in a snowstorm.
Should've gotten an Uber.
Right. She straight up... So they put a moving Santa sign on the way into Christmas.
What?
Like a waving kind of Santa sign.
Oh, okay.
And it's motion activated, which I have problems with that on an engineering side. And also a civil engineering side.
Okay.
Anyway, And it startles her, and she slides off the road and runs into it. Mm-hmm. And crashes. So, and this is all why literally the townsfolk are sitting in town hall waiting for her. Because, you know, you plan your town hall meeting about this literally the night that she gets into town.
That's creepy, too.
Isn't it?
That's so creepy.
Creepy as fuck.
That's some, like, Stars Hollow shit.
Right, it's terrifying. So, this is where we meet Gage. Gage McBride.
Oh my god.
He's
that name.
The sheriff in this town.
Of course, this town ain't big enough for the two of us.
He has to go with a couple of his deputies to help her out. Like, she's fine. They get like an ambulance there and all this stuff, and she's fine. She has busted up her face. Like, the airbag went off.
So she got into a car wreck. She hit the Santa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And broke the Santa, which is a great start. The airbag went off. I know. The airbag went off.
Okay.
So her lips are, like, super swollen right now. She looks like a Cupid doll is what they call her. I know. This woman.
I'm assuming he's gonna kiss her, though, at some point with her bruised lips.
No, he's not, actually.
Oh, good. Okay.
Are you ready for this? Strap in.
Oh.
For a healthy relationship that develops over about a month.
Really?
This is the first time in the entirety of this podcast we've had a healthy relationship that develops over a few months. Sorry, spoilers, but I know.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh, well, I found it, right?
All it took was the miracle of Christmas.
The miracle of Christmas and Hallmark. Bitsy, stop playing with our very high-tech sound dampening curtain blanket. It's fine, same thing. Anyway, so she insists, well, half of it is her insisting, and most of it's Gage insisting of, you still have to go give this presentation. I know you just got into a car accident, but there's a group of people that are gonna riot if you don't, right? I know! This really makes no sense. Anyway.
That makes no sense. Like, it sounds like if the people are gonna riot, they're already mad enough anyway. There's nothing she can say to make it better.
It's mostly a bunch of old people, too.
Oh, yeah, there's no way she's going to be able to convince an MU. Also, like, it seems like if it's a bunch of old people, though, they wouldn't want this resort to be built there. Like, they wouldn't want to destroy, like, the good...
We'll get into that.
Okay.
But, so, she goes and she's like, you know what? No, I am going to do this. Because screw you guys. Your town is dumb. Your Santa is dumb.
Don't blame her for that.
Yeah. So, she... Oh my god, Bitsy's being so annoying right now.
She really loves me tonight.
I know. She just wants love.
With those big eyes, though.
I know, the crazy eyes. But, so she gives a presentation, and most of the people fall asleep in it because it's real boring. Because she's a numbers person, not a marketing person.
Yeah.
She's basically
the marketing person.
Right. She's basically trying to convince these people. She's like, look, here's what's going to happen. All of your nice little mom and pop towns are going to be great for a little while with the first influx, and then as soon as you get people realize it's a quote-unquote resort town, they're going to start putting in competition.
Right.
And the competition is going to run your mom and pop businesses out of business.
Right, yeah.
So she's like coming at it from a logical point of view.
She's also coming at it from like, if you love this town, don't destroy it.
Exactly, and that's what she's trying to get across, but she did it in a really boring way, and the people are pretty set in their ways as far as, no, you're killing our town, because our town's gonna, like, die without this extra bit of...
I mean, also, that kind of makes sense, too, because it's like, they're probably not getting that much new business.
They're not, because there's no... Okay, so, she still gives it, people fall asleep, and she doesn't convince anyone. So the main person that's leading this sort of anti-Madison campaign is, there's two people. There's Aunt Nell, who is Gage's great aunt. Mm-hmm. And she is the sassiest old woman. So the whole reason the media got a hold of this, and like they got a bunch of like cards from children and all this stuff at like over in the New York, at the office to try to convince them. It was all her. She was writing in crayon. Like, she is like the matriarch.
Oh my gosh.
She's the matriarch of this town. So her thought is, I just need to convince Madison Lane to stay for like a week, a couple weeks maybe, and convince her that this town is worth it. Like, that's her brain thought.
If the math doesn't work, the math doesn't work.
Yeah, but if you ever tried reasoning with an old lady?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. See? So, hey, we love you if you're an old lady. It's fine.
You're actually probably the people who read these romance novels.
Well, maybe. Hey, I'm not old.
Yet.
Right, okay. Well, wow. Way to put a bummer on Christmas.
If anything, though, you have to remember, I'm the Grinch cynical one, so...
Yeah.
I have no love in my life, everyone.
It's fine. You have Bitsy.
I do have Bitsy.
See? There's love. Okay, so...
You say while she's in your lap?
Yeah, well. So Madison goes to leave. She's going to the hotel that she's staying at, and then she's going to be leaving the next day. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm going home. I didn't mention the other person that was head against this. The other person is Dane. What's his first name?
Ooh, he sounds like an antagonist.
He's not great. His last name's Dane. I can't remember his first name.
His last name's Dane? Okay.
Yeah, I think I have it written somewhere. I'll throw it in later. But his last name's Dane. He's the head of the town paper.
Oh, okay.
Right? The Christmas Chronicle. So he's like taking pictures of her with giant lips and like all this stuff. Super incriminating photos. Yeah. So she goes.
Because if you're an ugly woman, you have no status in society.
Right, naturally.
Yeah.
Your looks define you.
Yes.
So I just want to preface, like, that's sarcasm, guys.
All sarcasm.
Okay, good.
100% sarcasm.
I don't want anyone to think we're being serious. Which maybe it's the alcohol that makes me not want to do that.
Right.
But so, she goes to leave. And when she goes to leave, all of a sudden she hears like a thump on the back of her, or someone banging on the back of her car, and two guys are freaking out. And she stops, and she comes out, and there's Aunt Nell laying on the ground behind her car, and two guys are freaking out because like, you just hit her. Like, she was coming to talk to you, and you backed into her, and yada, yada, yada. And so Gage comes out.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Gage comes out and looks at this scene at his great aunt and is like,
Aunt Nell, get up.
You set it up. But Aunt Nell is not gonna...
Yeah, she's not gonna back down.
Not at all. And Fred and Ted are the two guys, are her friends. These pair, they're great. But, so they're like trying to put this on her and everything, yada, yada, and they're like, no, she's obviously faking it. Like, it's fine. He takes her to the sheriff's office and everything. He's like, she's freaking out. She's like, I'm gonna get, like, charged with something, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's fine. Although they do get a little bit not frisky, but like there's some tension in the sheriff's office. Yeah. And so
sexual tension? Textual tension?
Textual tension.
Ooh.
But so she gets a call from her boss because apparently all of a sudden everyone gets word of this immediately, that this happened.
Oh,
and so her boss is like, you need to stay for a couple weeks to save face and take care of this woman that you backed into.
You can't go into the recording box.
But she wants to be in the box. Oh, now we have Carlos too. Great. God.
It's a party.
Yeah, it's a Christmas party.
Okay, here you go. Your turn now.
Great.
You be the parent.
Awesome. But so her boss gets word of this almost immediately, which is weird to me.
No, I mean it's post Twitter.
Yeah, but this is like evening. Like it's late night.
No, that's not weird.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Okay.
Media standpoint, that's not weird.
I wouldn't know. But he gets word of this and he's like, you have to stay for at least a couple weeks and take care of this woman that you ran over to save face.
No, okay, no.
Right?
No. That is not what would happen at all.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm not crazy.
No,
I'm not crazy.
That boss would have taken that person out immediately and just paid a lump sum of money. That's what would have happened.
Right. So, she ends up having to stay with Aunt Nell to take care of her.
This is so Hallmark. This is such fucking Hallmark.
This Hallmark-ass plot. Right? Okay. So, at this point, we're going to take a hot second, and we're going to talk about the two different families. So, by families, I mean Gage's family.
What is this, Westeros?
Pretty much. We're going to talk about Gage's family and Madison's family. So, when they go back to Aunt Nell's house, Madison drives Aunt Nell back to her house, where she will be staying for the next little while.
And the aunt is just okay with this? No?
She wanted it.
Oh, she wanted it.
She engineered this whole thing.
Okay.
She wanted her to stay so that she could stay and see the town and be like, no, it's worth saving.
That is not the first way that I would, like, get someone to stay in a town, though. I would, like, destroy the road, like, do... Yeah. Literally.
And she hates small towns. Madison hates small towns. Again, we'll go into it why later. But, so, she's driving Aunt Nell to her house and, like, gets her all set up and everything, but as they're leaving they get to her house, which is, like, a Victorian era, like, house.
Yeah.
Whatever. And their bus stops by, and two kids get off, and they're two little girls. One is, like, maybe I would say 6. They don't really explicitly say it, but I would say 6. The other one is, like, anywhere between 10 and 13. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
And the older one's getting bullied, and so... As soon gets hit in the head with a snowball. And so Maddie goes mama bear, picks up a snowball and pegs this kid with a snowball.
Honestly, my response.
Right? Well, except that media's a thing right now. guess who gets a picture of it?
Honestly, my response
Dane, I know. But, anyway, so Gage's family, these are his 2 daughters.
Oh.
He has daughters.
Oh.
Again, first time a dude has had kids
Yes.
in a book that we've read. So again, Lily is like 6 or 7.
Uh-huh.
Annie is like
Cute
10
names.
or 13. Yeah, Lily and Annie are real cute. He was previously married to a country music star, Sheena McBride.
Wait, what?
Uh-huh.
Sheena McBride?
Sheena McBride. Any, think there's any relation to maybe Martina McBride? Probably not.
Probably not.
And
this is a true story, right?
Biopic. Yeah. So he was divorced. He was once married, and it comes out later, but I'll go ahead and throw it in now. He married her. There wasn't a ton of, like, they're both, like, the golden children of this small town, because they're both, like, young and attractive.
Right.
And he got her pregnant. And he was a good guy and did the right thing and married her.
Married her, but he didn't love her.
Right.
Okay.
So, that whole thing, that's a thing that happens. Madison's family grew up in a small town.
Uh-huh.
This is where our triggers come in a little bit and why she hates small towns. Her mom was kind of naive and easily taken advantage of. So she was with her dad. Maddie's dad was drunk and abusive. And her mom, I will say, like, I've never been in an abusive relationship, but I feel like she wrote this mother character very well, because it's like every time she wanted to leave, she couldn't, because...
Well, right, and also you're in a small town, and so people are gonna... And in that time, people were gonna judge you if you left your husband. It didn't really matter what they did to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like she wrote that very well, but her mom, in an attempt to, like... She was a waitress, at the diner. She kind of had a reputation for finding other people to give her attention, because she was giving bad attention.
Right.
So she found another guy who happened to be married, and they were going to get married, even though he was already married.
Right.
On Christmas. Hey. And she told her daughter to, when she was like 13, I think, hey, go wait at the church. We'll meet you there on Christmas after the service, and then we'll all leave. Like, it was a running away kind of thing. They died on a car accident on the way to the church. So they never showed up. So Maddie was made fun of a lot, because she was called daughter of a whore. And a lot of people in the town, because it was a small town, blamed her mom on this guy's death, because this guy was a well-respected guy in the neighborhood, even though he was going to run away with a woman that wasn't his wife, and yada, yada.
Okay.
She was like Annie's age. So she was young.
Oh.
Right. So that's why she hates small towns and hates Christmas. I think that's understandable.
That is totally legit.
I will give this lady credit. What is it? Debbie Mason. I'll give her credit. She writes a damn good character.
And you know what? Her name is smaller than the title. I did not mention
that.
Yeah,
we didn't mention that. Great.
That.
But she writes a very detailed backstory character. Like, each character has a very specific goals, very detailed background. Like, there are reasons for everything. Actually done very well.
All right, so passes that book Dell test.
She really does. It's pretty great. This one passes a lot of the book, which sucks because it's Hallmark, but whatever. Hey, if it works. So we're going to kind of lump the next little bit into sort of like, we're putting a lot of this book into a small bit, because it's really just a beautiful comedy of errors that happen to Madison over and over and over again. Because someone is sabotaging her time in Christmas, trying to get the townspeople against her.
You mentioned a kidnap, too.
Oh, we're getting there.
Ah!
We're getting there.
I love some good kidnap.
Well, it's not well implemented, unfortunately.
It's a romance novel. Is it ever well implemented? Kidnap is also
it's worse than you think.
Kidnap is also not a very effective way to get what you want.
I will say, it doesn't go how you think it goes.
All right.
It's not implemented well.
Okay, I have theories now. Go on.
Okay. In my notes, again, guys, I like to do scenes. So this is scene 3 through 6. Okay. Even though it's a lot more than that. It's just a lot of chapters shoved into one. Because it's like a bunch of stuff just happens in the middle, but the really important stuff happened at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
So, Maddie proceeds to have to stay for several weeks and gets into all sorts of shenanigans. So I will list off some of the shenanigans she gets into.
Okay.
And we'll see how this goes. So, she gets into a cat fight with the mom of the kid she pegged with a snowball.
Cool!
That goes up in the Christmas Chronicle.
Okay.
Slandering her again, right? This is where the slandering plot comes in. And Gage McBride, the sheriff, has to deal with all of this.
Right. I'll bet he loves it, too. He's like...
At first, he's like, God damn it. And then where he's like, okay, she's really
kind of cool,
pretty and kind of fun, and she's really good with my kids, and damn it, like really good with things. Like she's great with kids. And Annie is me as a child, so that was good. But she gets roped into learning how to bake cookies with Aunt Nell. Turns out terrible. Not a good baker.
Okay.
So Aunt Nell usually makes like dozens of cookies to give out at this cookie exchange at this local thing, and she's injured, quote unquote, so she can't. So she has to
employ her to do it.
Right, exactly.
For her.
Yeah, because Madison is essentially forced into being her little helper with all of her house stuff.
A little elf, if you will.
They call her that. So they turn out awful because she's a terrible baker, but she tried. She has to help with the Christmas Kids pageant. She is a god-awful singer. Like, they talk about how it sounds like a cat wail, like being hit against a wall, like, real bad. But she makes it really fun for the kids because she has no shame about being an awful singer.
That's what I was saying last night. I was at Tokyo Kitty, that's just like a karaoke bar in Cincinnati, and I was like, it's not about how good you are, it's about your enthusiasm.
It's about confidence.
Yeah.
Right. Which is funny because his ex-wife is a country music star.
That's so true.
Yeah, right? And Annie is apparently a really good singer.
Aww.
Which is cute.
Yeah.
And super shy, and like Madison gets her to like she gets to play Mary in the show and like all this stuff. It is heartwarming. I'll be damned.
Heartwarming Hallmark.
I know.
As heartwarming as a Hallmark card.
Pretty much.
Hallmark sponsor us.
No, please. I'm sorry. I'm gonna veto that. She has to be a part of the Christmas parade, which is actually really funny because
you want to put the person that you hate in
people
the
are starting
Christmas parade.
So she's actually trying like really hard to help out around the town because she wants to convince them that no, I'm here to help you.
Okay.
So she's trying, and actually people are starting to come around to her at this point a little bit.
Okay.
But all of this stuff that's happening has all been put in the Christmas Chronicle in bad light.
Right.
All of this. Yeah. So Christmas Chronicle's out to get her. But, so they put her in a super skin-tight elf costume.
Oh my god.
I know. And, they put her next to Santa, who turns out to be, like, a drunk dude.
Ew!
Like, she deals with Santa, actually, pretty well. So they got a random dude to play Santa. Not a good guy. And so after the parade, and at this point, like, her and Gage are, like, starting to, like see each other a little bit.
Okay.
Not like full on date, but like be interested in seeing each other.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, at this like party that's happening afterwards, she's like, "Oh, Gage is gonna hate this." And she goes over, she's like, "Hey, I want to show you something," and like slowly gets him over into the closet and is like, "Guess what? You're gonna be Santa," and starts putting Santa stuff on him because she's like, I kicked the guy to the curb because he tried to cop a feel, so you're gonna be Santa now.
That's so cute.
But Dane gets in and gets a picture of her putting Santa clothes on, like taking Santa clothes off of him.
Okay.
And that goes into the Christmas Chronicle. And everyone is like,
this guy for the Christmas Chronicle sounds like a dick.
He is a dick. But so it's funny because like everyone in town just chooses to not remember the part where Gage and Sheena got divorced. Because they're their golden couple.
Right.
So every time they see a picture of them together, they get a little bit up in arms about it because it's like, well, no, he's married. No, he's not. Yeah.
Oh,
because it's
so they
a small
did get
town.
divorced. So they did get
divorced.
divorced.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a thing.
Okay.
So that goes into the Christmas Chronicle. She's being slandered this whole time.
Yeah.
She helps with the parade floats before the parade happens.
Right.
And actually there's this whole plot point where like the parade floats get vandalized and they blame her for it.
Aww.
And she takes the fall because who it actually was the kid that she hit with a snowball first.
Aww.
And it's because he has a tough home life and she like actually goes out and like finds him because she's afraid he's gonna commit suicide and like all this stuff.
Whoa.
And like there's a whole like
whoa.
I know, it's so deep, it's weird.
Whoa, okay.
I wasn't expecting that. And yeah, so I'm gonna read this next bit in my notes word for word. At some point, her and Gage get it on.
Yes!
And I say at some point, because so all this time, they're like actually starting to develop a relationship and like actually starting to see like, oh, well, this is my background, this is your background. Like, we actually like work well together, this is what I'm trying to do. Like, they're... Right. It's a healthy relationship, y'all. Yeah, he values her as a human.
Good.
Weird, right?
Weird in one of these novels. Right? Okay.
But, so they get it on. Don't describe the sex at all.
What?
They literally are
Not
like...
at all?
They're having, like, a sexy bit in, like, a sexy time in the hot tub. And then they're like, talking up how great this is gonna be, and then it's just like, and afterwards.
So it cuts, basically.
It cuts the sex. So that part was the part where I was like, this is Hallmark, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very...
I mean, I'm okay with it. Not all romance
like,
novels have to have sexy bits in it.
That's true.
It's just not what I was expecting.
No, it's not at all what I was expecting. Like, that's very... Okay.
I wasn't expecting. I think it would have taken away from it if they did.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
This is more of the emotional side of romance than it is the physical side of romance, I would say.
It's less erotica, more romance.
Romance, which is good. Okay. Like, we wanted to kind of show the difference between those two here. Yeah.
Okay.
So, they get it on. Gonna talk about it. And then, Gage's ex-wife shows up.
Oh.
So, a little bit of background real quick on this. So, Annie, is convinced that her parents are gonna get back together. Convinced. So it's really tough because her and her dad are like, no. But Sheena is like trying.
Oh, Sheena's into it. She wants to get back together.
Not because she loves him, but because she's the golden child. They have to be together. That kind of deal.
Oh.
So she comes in, and this is like the first time she's even been in town for Christmas. Like, she won't. Oh. Yeah, she's not a great mom.
So she's just not around.
No, she's never around because she's a big time country music star. Yeah. So she like tries to take over the pageant, and it ends up being like the kids aren't having fun, and so Maddie finally is like, you know what? No, fuck this, you're gone, and like kicks her out and takes over, and the kids start having fun again. So there's a lot of like showing that Maddie is way better than this lady.
Okay.
And she like tries to seduce Gage at some point. It's pretty funny.
It sounds like Gage had like 2 really drunk nights, and that's how he ended up with his children almost.
Actually, at one point, they accidentally have a hookup during, like, the last Valentine's Day because they were both drunk, and it was Valentine's Day, and so he accidentally hooked up with her again, and that's part of the reason Annie thinks that...
They're gonna get back together.
Right, okay. Which is kind of sad.
Yeah. But I mean, like, if she's around 10 to 13, that's the age where you really start to hope that your parents are gonna get back together.
Yeah.
From what I know of my friends who had divorced parents.
As a child of a divorced family... You're not 100% wrong.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this entire time, like, Gage and Madison are, like, actually having a decent relationship and, like, having a normal relationship. He's trying to kind of keep it on the down low because he is the sheriff of the town. He's, like, elected official, like...
Okay.
So he's trying to kind of keep it a little on the down low, but he's, like, head over heels. He really likes her. He's trying really hard. She's trying really hard. And, like, they have spats and stuff. Yeah. But it's usually, like, one of them is, like, oh... I'm an idiot. I see it from your perspective now. And they talk it out like human beings.
Right.
Again, weird for a romance.
Yes.
It's nice. It's very nice.
Yes.
But, so all of this comes to, so that's kind of, I know I went through that really fast. It's the middle of the book, but it's just a lot of stuff that happens. It just basically comes down to Maddie's trying really hard to make the people in this town like her. It's actually starting to succeed, but someone out there is slandering her. And her and Gage are starting to create a relationship together. Okay. That's what it boils down to.
Right.
The one special thing I will say is that at some point she starts actually shopping downtown, and this town has there's like a high fashion like sex shop. Don't worry, I'm bringing in an expert here in a second. Just wait.
My god.
So like that, she like goes and she makes friends with the lady who's in it, and then there's like a bakery and everything, and all these places like. She's an accountant person, like she's a money person. All these places are like the lady who owns the bakery, she feels bad about charging what she should charge. She doesn't know what to charge for her baked goods, even though they're amazing. Yeah. So there's all these things where she's like, I could be a financial consultant. You guys could make a lot of money. You're really good. So she's like trying to help them.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and she's starting to be like, I could like consult these people and really help them get off the ground and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that part is a bit important. It'll come up later. But at this point, when I was reading this book, I was a little confused because it is a quote-unquote small town.
Yes.
There's a lot of shit in this small town.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring in an expert on small towns.
Okay.
And we're going to have a little bit of discussion. I'm going to ask him for things that are in the small town that he grew up near. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so this is my expert. Everyone, meet my husband, Zach. Say hi, Zach.
Hello.
So Zach,
hi, Zach.
While he didn't grow up in a small town, he had family that lived in a small town that he visited very regularly during the summer, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So your small town was called?
Thornhill, Tennessee.
So I'm aware Tennessee and Colorado are in very different places, but when I think of this Christmas, Colorado, I think of a town about the size of Thornhill. So according to a 2010 census, Thornhill had about 1,236 people.
Dang.
It's a small town, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of, granted, I'm not good with, like, population numbers, but that's kind of what I assumed this town to be based on the descriptions in the book. So, I have a list here of things that are in this town, and I want Zach to tell me whether or not they were in the town he grew up going to. A hospital.
The nearest hospital to Thornhill, Tennessee is about 60 miles away.
Oh my God, that's so scary.
A police station.
There is no police presence in Thornhill, Tennessee, only a county sheriff.
Ambulance, fire, etc.
Volunteer firefighters that live, 10, 15 miles away.
Yep. A sex and high fashion shop.
There are no stores in Thornhill, Tennessee.
I should also mention, I didn't mention before, the name of this sex and high fashion shop is The Naughty and Nice.
Oh my God!
So that sort of leads into my next one, a bakery.
Sure, home bakery?
Yeah, close enough.
My grandma made stuff.
Victorian-style houses.
No. The houses there are hand-built by the people that live in the hills.
That's what I figured.
Cool.
Any chance there might be a shootout/hostage situation that some form of police force can take care of?
No. Absolutely not.
All right. Yeah, so all those things happen in Christmas, Colorado. A small town, quote unquote. And I was really confused because that seems like a lot of stuff for a small town. So thank you, Zachary.
You're welcome.
For
clarifying.
validating my point. I appreciate you.
Of course.
So, I don't think this is it's a smaller town. I don't think it's as small of a town as I'm expecting.
It's a small town, as in, what I'm imagining is, Gilmore Girls Stars Hollow.
I've never seen Gilmore Girls.
Well, so, they have, they have, town meetings, but they also have, Luke Steiner, and they have, restaurants and shops and stuff like that.
I think the thing that gets me is that the way this is described is, at the town hall meeting where she's trying to present to them, it sounds like everyone in town is there.
Why? And everybody is going to this sex shop.
Right!
And it makes
run by a former Miss
money.
January.
How much is she charging per item? Per dildo? That's to keep her store
okay, when
open.
I say sex shop, I mean, intimate attire.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's more like lingerie. So I thought that, if you're from a small town, maybe a small town that's a little more like Christmas, Colorado, let me know. I would genuinely like to know. I've been to Thornhill, Tennessee, for what it's worth. There's not a lot there.
Right.
So I'm very curious.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, Tennessee's not Colorado, but I thought it would be fun to get a second opinion about that. Okay, so we're getting towards the end here where things are going to start happening again.
Oh, okay.
I know. Maddie finds out that after all this slandering and stuff is still going on for her, Maddie finds out that her old boss, Joe, actually stepped down from the company. Because his wife is really sick. Aww. So he wants to be with his wife. She took a turn for the worse. She's in bad shape. So he steps down.
Okay.
Which means his son takes over. The one that's out for Maddie's job.
No.
So she's fired. She gets fired.
Why would he fire her, though, if he takes over his dad's job?
That's a good question. He just doesn't like her, I guess. I don't know.
That's very strange.
I don't know.
That makes no sense. You got the more powerful job, but you're going to fire the person. No.
I know. It's weird.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Yeah. So he fires her. So Maddie is obviously she's down about it. She thought Joe was her friend, and she didn't even hear this from Joe. She heard it from Harrison.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So she was really bummed about it.
I've had that happen before. It sucks.
Yeah. So she goes to tell Nell, who at this point, they're actually pretty good friends. They've warmed up to each other, and they like each other. And a lot of people in the town like Maddie. So she tells her she's gonna leave, and Nell starts to feel like she's sick, and she's like, "You're faking it again. There's nothing I can do. I have to go and sign this paperwork for it because I'm fired." Yada yada yada. No, Nell's actually having a heart attack.
Oh no!
So yeah,
finish up that mulled wine, girl.
Done.
All right,
with brandy. Hey, it's a fun night.
Yes.
So Nell actually does have a heart attack, and Maddie does CPR on her.
Oh my
and
God.
she ends up getting to the hospital, and she's okay.
She
ends up being okay.
Okay.
Which you like Nell, Ted, and Fred. You actually really like at this point because they're just sassy old people. They're kind of fun. And Maddie's like, you know what? I'm not gonna leave. I gotta make sure she's okay. I want to be here for her because I like her and we're friends. Yada yada. And she's like, and Gage is like, you did the numbers. You're smart. You know that this isn't going to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah. She's like, I trust you. Are you going to fight it? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to fight it. So she ends up staying in the town because she's like, no, I need to fight this. It's going to bankrupt. Like it's going to take the town and, like, get rid of all the local business and everything.
Right.
So, hey, building each other up. He
Right.
does that,
Hey,
just saying.
Very good.
He does a good
Yeah.
job. Right. So
and also he's like, he knows that she's an expert.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
like,
trusts that she's actually smart and knows what
Right.
the hell she's talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
So she agrees to stay, and she's gonna fight the deal through town. So she does this, she has to get a bunch of signatures, she has to, like, try to get everyone on her side as well, which is tough, it's really hard. And Gage is still trying to keep their relationship kind of on the down low, because again, elected official, Sheena's in town, all this stuff. He's like, Sheena's gonna leave after Christmas, it'll be fine, but that whole thing's going on. And she's not super happy about it, but she understands.
Right.
Well, our friend Dane.
Oh, God.
He
Fucking
gets a
Dane.
picture of them kissing.
Who?
Gage and Madison.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he gets a picture of them actually, like, being a couple.
Okay.
And he prints it, and it seems like every time she's slandered, like, she's making progress, and then every time she's slandered, people are protesting her. And then goes back to loving her, and then protesting
Yeah, it sounds
her.
like
and
a
then loving,
typical
and then
small
protesting.
town.
Right?
Well, it sounds like also, though, coming from a journalist side, Dane is a bad journalist.
Yeah.
He needs to find another story. Like, there's other things going on in the town, I can assure you.
He has motivation. Just wait.
Oh.
So people are starting saying she's a homewrecker. Because, again, they refuse
not
to
married.
remember.
They're
Yeah.
not
But they don't want to
married.
believe that. So, cue heartfelt speech on the back of a truck with a megaphone.
Oh my God.
And her admitting that she loves Gage. And that, hey,
Aww.
they're not married anymore, no matter how much you choose to believe that they are.
Good girl.
Right. Straight up heartfelt, like, climax of the movie.
Oh,
There's
Hallmark.
There's music in the background. Yada, yada, yada.
Okay.
And Gage's kids, who, disclaimer, I don't like kids that much myself.
Right.
His kids are adorable.
Aww.
And they, like, come over and like, Lily, like, runs over and grabs the megaphone. She's like, and I love Maddie! Like, it's really
That's
cute.
so cute.
It's very cute. All in front of Sheena. It's great.
Okay. Does Sheena mind? She doesn't like it, does she?
She starts to realize that, like, oh, Gage likes this girl, and, like, I'm the one kind of being an asshole.
Oh, well,
she
that's
starts
good.
to turn
Wow,
on too,
more
which is
character
good.
development.
Yeah, well, her whole thing is, like, the reason she's back and, like, trying to get back with Gage is because she has a throat condition. Like, something is wrong with her throat, so she might not ever be able to sing again. So she's like, this is her one fallback to be, like, famous, quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
But she never got a second opinion, and actually, it ends up not being that big of a deal.
Okay,
Like, it's a side plot. But so cue heartfelt speech on the bed of a truck with a megaphone. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we are being assholes, aren't we? And they accept her. So, at this point, backpedal a little bit, Harrison has come out to this town because he knows that Maddie is fighting him.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, fine, we're going to put it to a vote. I'm going to be there to represent this company and try to convince everyone to do this.
Okay, right.
At this point, we learn that Dane was his contact.
Oh.
Dane needs money really badly.
Oh, no, okay.
So he's trying to push this deal and slander Madison in any way he can because Harrison's going to give him a big payout and everything if he does.
Oh
my God, a villain with motivations that are, like, relatable. Holy crap.
And we actually know who they are.
Right?
Listen to the last episode.
So okay, well, so all this comes out, she has her heartfelt speech and everything, and everyone's, like, really on board with her and realizes like, this is why this is a bad thing. And she tells Harrison to go fuck himself, which is awesome. She's like, no, fuck you.
Amazing.
And
okay,
everyone
good girl.
gets it, right?
Yeah.
So she's actually, like, a strong female character. Gasp. So I just want to show you the amount that I have left in my notes here. That much.
Okay. And I just see in caps, kidnapped.
No one's engaged in a while.
Oh no, I knew it. I knew it when he said, oh, it's not going to go the way you think.
Right?
Oh no.
So Dane has a backup plan.
Oh no.
He kidnaps Gage because Gage has started to, like, put
Did
two
he
in.
chloroform him or something? Isn't he huge?
No, he didn't. Yeah, Gage is, like, ripped. So Dane has a backup plan because he knows shit's going down and he still needs money.
Right.
And Gage just started putting the dots together. Started putting 2 and 2 together and realized that this is why Dane's doing this.
Okay.
So he's on Dane's trail and actually tries to, like, sneak up and go after him without him knowing.
Oh.
And he sneaks up on him and hits him on the back of the head and, like, knocks him out.
Who's him? I'm sorry.
Dane hits Gage on the back of the head, knocks Gage out, kidnaps him. I have a couple problems with this. One,
Gage is huge. It's gonna be hard to carry him.
He's huge. Also, if you knock someone unconscious, like, they don't just pass out for a while, they get brain damage for a while.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's dangerous. Like, people do that.
It's a movie trope and it's not right.
It's a movie trope and it's, like, actually really dangerous. You shouldn't do it. Your brain is very, very...
sensitive.
Yes.
Yeah. So that happens. Also, dead weight is very hard to move.
Yeah.
Can you imagine one guy trying to, like, carry this, like, I'm gonna...
It's probably at least 180 pounds?
I was gonna say 250.
Really?
He's buff.
Okay.
He's dense.
Oh, God.
He's a dense dude. He's tall and he's dense. So, in my...
Dead dragging 250 pounds.
In my grappling experience, I'm gonna say about 250.
Oh, my... Okay. Yeah. Big
dude. So, yeah, those are my problems with that. But Gage gets kidnapped. This is the last 3 chapters of the book. So, throw in the kidnapping, because why the fuck not?
Well, you need your climax.
Sure, well, because the heartfelt speech on the back of a truck wasn't one.
Okay, no.
So, he's like, no, I need $250,000 in ransom for this dude. Like, he's gonna ransom him for money, because he needs money.
The whole town doesn't have that much money.
But Madison has a lot of it. So Madison has this thing where she's like, I need to have a year's worth of salary in savings, because it's like, that's just her thing. She's like, I want to be financially independent.
Right, yeah,
because she's a strong, independent woman character.
Yeah.
God forbid. So she's like, all right, I need everyone to, put in whatever they can. If you guys can raise like $150,000, which still seems like a lot, I'll put in $100,000.
Yeah.
So she's like ready to put in $100,000, which is not all of her money. Chick is stacked.
Okay.
Well, stacks on stacks on stacks, not actually like boobs stacked. But you know what I mean.
Yeah,
she has the money.
Yeah.
So she puts in, because that's as much as she has access to at the moment. But Gage just escapes and makes it back to town.
Good for Gage.
Nothing happens of it. They never have to give the money away. They're waiting at. They do bring it around because she's waiting at the church at midnight.
Okay.
Which. Like when
I'm
her
sure
mom...
there's some tearful embrace and heartfelt reunion.
A little bit. But actually, a little bit, but he also has like a pretty bad concussion.
Oh.
So not that much of one.
Oh.
But yeah.
Well, at least that's accurate.
Right? Well, kind of. So like, which they, they bring it back because like waiting for her mom at the church and like whatever. And so she's waiting for him at the church with the ransom money and everything.
Okay.
But he ends up escaping with mild hypothermia, a pretty bad concussion, and the help of his friend Ethan, who is the mayor of the town. I didn't mention that before, but his friend is the mayor.
Okay.
So he escapes, and he like is okay, and he's like finally, because hey, I do love you, and I don't care about keeping it secret anymore. So like he kind of has that moment too, which is nice. So the book. We're getting toward the end. The book ends with the Christmas pageant, which Madison has been working on with the kids and everything, and yada, yada, yada. And so they have the Christmas pageant, and then afterwards she gets a call from Joe, the old president, and he's like, hey, my wife is doing better now, yada, yada, because it's a Christmas miracle.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm really sorry. I had no idea that he fired you. I would have told you if I'd known, and like all this stuff. So it was all like a misunderstanding on his part, whole thing. Harrison is gone from the company, like all this stuff. Yay. Happy warm fuzzy feels.
Yeah, there's that Hallmark moment.
And she has a surprise for him while she's talking on the phone.
Please don't be pregnant.
No, not pregnant.
Thank God.
No. But I do have an addendum that involves that. But
no.
But so her surprise for him is that Ethan, this dude who's the mayor, that is his friend, wants to put his hand towards running for Senate. He wants to be a politician.
Oh, cool.
And he's kind of always wanted this throughout the book.
Okay.
So they need a provisional mayor while he does that. And they made Madison the mayor. Because who needs elections?
Well, what?
And
There's
also
1,000 people in the town and 900 of them already know her.
And also, like, that is in no way what the book was going for up until this point.
Yeah, that's
Up until this point, they're like, she's going to be a financial advisor and help all these people get their businesses off the
Yeah.
ground. Nope, surprise mayor.
That actually would be, I would have enjoyed that ending
Way more,
better
right? Yeah.
than Surprise Mayor. That's kind of like,
Didn't
that's
make a lot of
honestly
sense.
also kind of like my last novel where it was like the characters didn't even want to
I
be
know.
king and queen.
It was just out of nowhere.
And then the author's like, nope, we're gonna stick that there too.
It was kind of weird.
That's a left field.
That was one of the, like, I read that book, like, the chapter, and I was like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
What?
Right.
What just happened? So, because I read that, and I was like, wait, what just happened? I read, there's always the sneak peek in the next book.
Yes.
I read those first couple chapters of the next book.
Wait, there's another book?
It's a series, honey.
The same characters?
No, different characters.
Okay.
So it follows different characters in the town of Christmas, Colorado.
Okay.
So in the next one follows the owner of the bakery.
Okay.
Who Madison was going to help with, like, getting her, like, charging the right amount for her baked goods and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Whose husband has been MIA in Afghanistan for, like, a year and a half.
Aww.
So it follows her and her, like, 2-year-old son and all of this stuff. And Madison's pregnant.
Of course.
Yeah, because it's a continuation, right? Yeah.
Because you can't be happy unless you're pregnant.
I will say, actually, like, she likes kids and he likes kids, and so that's actually a
but it's just like in almost every.
It always
there's
ends
one,
in a way.
There's only one where we haven't had a pregnancy, I think.
No, we've had a lot without pregnancies.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not like the pregnancy of the main chick. Because, like, Valerian, she wasn't pregnant.
She was not pregnant, you're right.
The ones with the dragon animorphs, they weren't pregnant. That one hasn't come out yet. Sorry, guys. Most of them haven't been...
Dingus and Demons wasn't pregnant.
No, I don't think we've had a single pregnancy. I think this is the first one.
Okay.
We had the chick in Dingus and Demons.
Yeah, we did have the one chick in Dingus
but she wasn't the main lady.
She wasn't the main lady. I know we've had... Well, the one I just read, listened to the last episode, she was pregnant.
Oh, I didn't know she got pregnant.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, you're right.
She got pregnant.
Yeah. Okay, so we've had one.
She's probably double pregnant because her mom had twins, so she's probably pregnant with twins.
But does she get struck by lightning and become a
No, she almost drowned, so therefore they can't drown.
Right, perfect, great, you did it. You figured it out. God.
I'm sorry. We went back to that episode.
That's so bad.
But we can't deny that's a trope, okay?
Yeah. No, it's a trope. In my opinion, it either usually ends in, like, a very serious / wedding relationship or a pregnancy. So she was pregnant in the next one, which, again, is fine. If they both want kids and it's totally cool, that's fine. But it is definitely a trope. Yeah, so it was holy Hallmark Batman. This was a hella Hallmark novel.
Yes, it was so Hallmark.
It was.
But I do like Gage. I like Maddie. Yeah. She sounds cute.
I was so we're gonna get into, like, rating and reviewing, guys, with the book. I was incredibly impressed with her ability to write characters that are relatable, believable, and well fleshed out.
Yes.
Every single character had a damn good backstory. Like, they were really good characters. The plot just made no sense.
The plot sort of made sense,
I got what she was going for. It wasn't believable. It was that Hallmark level of believable.
Right. It still had the motivations, but it was like, but this isn't how the real world works.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Like
this is an idealized, we want to...
Yes.
The big city is bad, and she doesn't like small towns, but small towns are the heart of America.
Right.
And yeah, it was very much that vibe, which I did not love.
Yeah.
Again, it was one of those things. So honestly, I will be perfectly honest. I know we joke around, like, on the romance novel scale of characters, and then also the actual book level of characters, where, like, Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice are the most fully developed type 2. They might be a 5 for me.
Wow.
I know, because if you took Madison and put her in any other book, she has her own motivations. She has a very detailed backstory with believable outcomes for herself as a person. She's financially stable. She cares about her own financial, like, independence and being a human that can support herself. She makes total sense. And when she meets Gage, like, there's that little bit of, like, oh, he's hot.
But she doesn't fall apart. She doesn't, like, lose her personality because he's there. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the only reason I would call it a 4.5 is because she does do a little bit of, like... I don't know, she backpedals on disliking Christmas a lot, but I understand her motivations for doing that.
Well, it's also kind of like, it's a Christmas romance novel. Right. So, like, that doesn't surprise me that much.
Well, and I think, my big thing, we kind of touched on it last week, was asking why.
Yes.
And she always had a why. Always.
Yes.
There was always a, well, I really like my job and I care about Joe, so I'm going to try to make these people like me. Or, you know, I have to, obviously, Aunt Nell is the matriarch of this society. Like, if she goes with something, a lot of people are going to follow her. I need to convince her to like me. So I'm going to try to help her put up Christmas lights or bake cookies or whatever. So there was always a why, and it was actually really well done.
So how about the book Dell test?
I think it passed.
I think it sounds like it passed to me too.
Yeah, it absolutely, they build each other up. They have a couple spats, but it's always like look, yeah, this happened to me in my past. It's in my past. This is what I've done to change from it. Well, and it was always I am in a very healthy relationship right now. And I love my husband. You heard him earlier. It was a healthy relationship. It was very much arguments were, people got angry, but it was more of a discussion. It turned into a discussion than an argument. Not necessarily
bad. Yeah. It just means, I mean, as long as you're conversing about something and building, you can still build upon a disagreement. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even though you have a disagreement, it doesn't mean that you're not getting anywhere.
Right. And it was always one person realizing, like, okay, I'm overreacting, or I'm taking this in a way that it shouldn't be taken, and accepting that they're wrong.
Right.
And, like, there was always, like, a level of maturity no, maybe I'm the one, or maybe, you know, or someone realized, okay, maybe I'm being unreasonable. And, like, they actually, again, had adult human conversations about getting over arguments, which, it's a Christmas miracle we got a book that did that. Oh, my God.
I don't think that even happens in Hallmark.
No. See, that's why I'm so torn, because I'm like, it was legitimately, like, as far as, like, actual romance and believable characters and well-developed, and the plot was weird and dumb.
Yeah.
But the characters were great, but it was a Hallmark novel.
Yeah. It's not, I think that the problem with it is it's not that creative or original at all.
No.
Like, that's kind of what, I mean, like, what did it say on the front cover again? Great low price? That's for a reason. It's not that original.
Right. I hate rom-coms. I make no joke of it. This felt like I was reading a rom-com. Little bit.
Yeah.
So the characters themselves, incredibly well developed and defined and everything. Like, they even had support networks of friends and, like, all this stuff.
Right.
Really well done. The plot was weird.
Yeah.
It's like a 3 for the plot. Not even because it was, like, buck wild crazy. It was just not believable. Yeah. But the characters were wonderfully defined with their own motivations and everything, and a healthy relationship.
That people have this idealized version of what living in a small town is like versus what it's actually like. It's not
for everybody.
No, it's not. And it's also not like this wonderful,
it's not idealized.
Idyllic.
Nothing should be idealized. Like, living in, like, a giant city shouldn't be idealized. You know, just like living in Thornhill, Tennessee shouldn't be idealized. It's not idyllic. Right, exactly. And it was very much the, you know, small town over big town. All that. So, again, characters, as far as, like, if you took them out of this book, maybe that could be another part of the book. Yeah. If you took them out of the book, they would absolutely stand up on their own. Okay. In a very good way.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So if you took them and put them in something, even if it was like a completely different genre, they would stand up with their own motivations and everything. Okay. But together was not great.
Very good. Okay, so
the plot was weird.
So I think that covers the trouble with Christmas.
The trouble with Christmas.
But what are you reading outside of the trouble with Christmas?
I know I've been on it for a long time. I am still working my way through The Name of the Wind.
It is
thick with 3 C's.
It is a steak of a book.
It is 3 C's of thick. It's pretty thick. But I will say,
thick with 2 C's.
Right. So I teach I had a club at one of the libraries in our local town. Locally, one of the local libraries, and the librarian that, like, sits with me and, like, sort of like, they always have to have, like, a library chaperone. We've been talking about books lately. I recommended the podcast to her. Oh, good. But she recommended a book called Caraval to me, which
I've read that book.
Yeah,
I have read that book.
So she likes young adult stuff, and she recommended that one, and she said it was kind of like The Night Circus.
It is.
But more young adult.
It is. It's more young adult. I think that the plot is a little more fantastical.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I got.
The Night Circus. I liked the Night Circus way more.
The Night Circus is on a pedestal.
If you've never read The Night Circus,
technically a romance novel.
Technically,
it is. Read The Night Circus. It's so good.
You need to read. If anybody out there has not read The Night Circus,
it is probably my favorite non-Lord of the Rings book.
Yeah, I mean, it's up there for me. And
Lord of the Rings is a whole other thing.
And here's
for
the
me,
thing
but
about it is that the more you read it, the more times you read it, the more you catch and the more beautiful it becomes.
Every late fall, like around like late November, I always get in the mood for the night circus.
Yes, and like all I
So
want to do,
good.
all I would want to do at the night circus is honestly just like, I think if I were physically there, it's kind of like Hogwarts. You always
I wanna
imagine
be-
yourself
yeah.
physically there. I would just want to. I honestly
Just
would just want to walk around
It's
the tents.
so amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Just walk around the tents.
Yeah. So I was
Yes.
kind of started reading that one, but I think my ebook returned to the library because I got that one on the library's ebook stuff.
Yeah.
So I need to get that one again. But again, I'm still chewing my way through
right.
the heavy meat that is the name
What
of the
part are
land.
you at?
I'll tell you off mic so we
yeah.
don't spoil people for people.
That's true.
So that's kind of what I've been doing in the meantime. Which is probably gonna be the same for next week because there's only a week before we.
Yeah, we're gonna release our next episode.
3
so
whole
you
weeks
guys,
in a row.
Yeah, guys, you get 3
Whoa.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is your Christmas miracle.
Christmas present from
Yes,
us.
from us.
Holiday. Chrismahanakwanzika. Is that it?
Chrismahanakwanzika, but that's a good one too.
Chrismahanakwanzika and Yule. Present from us.
From us at Textual
Yes,
Tension.
at Textual Tension. We love you. Merry
we love
Christmas.
you. Send us Merry Christmas. We wish you happy holidays and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be thinking about you guys. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we really, because it is Christmas, and we've had a little bit of wine, not enough to like really get drunk, but enough to make me sentimental a little
And
bit.
tired. I'm so sleepy.
And tired. But I just want to say, like, really thank you guys. Like, we have a lot of fun doing this. And if we're being perfectly honest, like, this is what we just do when we hang out anyway, is talk about
Books.
dumb books that we read. And good books we read, but mostly dumb books that we read. So being able to kind of like share this with you guys and actually talk about
has been really fun.
It's
and
been
we're glad,
so much fun.
And we are glad that other people have enjoyed our humor.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So I'm goddamn hilarious. I don't know about what you think.
Hey, what the hell?
Okay, you
I'm
are too.
funny
Fine.
too.
But
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
we have a really good time doing this.
Yes.
It's honestly one of my favorite things to record. So, Merry Christmas to all. And
to all a happy and safe night.
Right, exactly. Oh, but also before that would have been a really good closer if we remembered to do all of our social media plugs before that.
Okay, so maybe we will after. We should do it again. So you guys, you can find us on our website, textualtensionpod.com.
Mm-hmm.
We are on Instagram, textualtensionpod, at textualtensionpod. On Twitter, we're at ttensionpod.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on Goodreads. I need to update it.
That'll be in the show notes.
That'll be in the show notes. Also,
Right.
check out our show notes on the website. We do put up more stuff about, like, the episode. Like, we put on notes.
Just our thoughts.
Yeah, just our thoughts.
Extra things we maybe missed.
We do put on the cover.
Right.
The cover is on the show notes.
And what is it? Where can they find the show notes?
The show notes, if you go to the website, textualtensionpod.com, you'll go to the top of the page, and it either says notes or show notes. I can't remember which.
Something like that. You can also listen to all of our previous episodes on the website.
You can. And you can also listen to our episodes on iTunes, Spotify,
really
Stitcher.
Any podcaster
The
or
only one you
podcatcher you
can't
use.
yet is Google Play. I gotta still work on that.
Cool.
So, but
We're working
everywhere
on that.
else you can listen to it, and you can also listen to it on our website.
Yeah, listen to our website. And yeah, I think that's it.
We'll see you guys next week.
Next week,
Just next
which
week.
is exciting. So,
and
wait,
rate, review, subscribe.
Yes.
Yes.
So let's do this one more time. A textual evening to all,
and to all a spicy night.